Hi guys,
and welcome back to another episode of To My Younger Self,
the #1 support network for students and graduates.
made by young people for young people.
It's Alicia here,
And it's your girl Praise.
and today
We are a Happy New Year special for you! So yeah, this is the first episode of 2025.
Oh my
for
God.
the To My Younger Self podcast.
That's exciting.
Sounds very crazy that we're in a new year because
We're taking the podcast into the new year.
exactly, and at this time
Yeah.
last year this didn't exist.
I know, yeah.
That's
Wow.
crazy. That's
Wow.
crazy. But it feels nice to do.
Yeah.
And we hope everyone listening had an amazing New Year's celebration. We hope you had an amazing winter break.
And a great Christmas for those that celebrate.
Yeah.
And also, this episode will be really exciting and hopefully impactful for all of you as well, because we have a few activities and like little activities that you can do at home as well this year to help you reflect on the year and set some goals for yourself.
100%.
So hopefully everyone can take a bit of something from this episode.
And we hope you enjoy it. So first things first, the first vibe of the week for the new year.
Oh yeah.
Um,
You go first.
Alicia, I'd like to ask you. Oh, I should say my vibe of the week.
So
So in this new year of 2025, I actually wrote down what my vibe of the week is.
that's good.
And I had a dentist appointment and I hadn't been in ages. And she pointed it out and I was like, But I think I realised when I was younger, obviously, like it was my mum who would be in charge of appointments, doctor's appointment, dentist appointment. And I think something that I want to do in this new year, I sort out my nail appointments, like all those appointments I sort out. But I think things that maybe my parents would normally take control of when I was younger, I need to get in charge of. So it's booking appointments that you wouldn't usually do or you haven't gone to or been to in a while. So if it's a dentist appointment, my vibe of the week is booking a dentist appointment. Because I actually have a fear. I've realised I had to put music on.
Oh my gosh.
I literally couldn't breathe. Like, I was so scared and I arrived so early. So the lead up to it for me was like, oh my God, they're going to call me. And then when she was like cleaning and drilling around my teeth, I had to start singing like praise and worship songs. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to start singing
I think that's quite a common fear actually of the dentist.
Yeah.
I've had to go so much, obviously, because of my braces journey that I'm not scared at all. Like when they're drilling my braces and tightening it up, they come out of about 10 different tools and they're just yanking it.
But I'm like, you can't do that,
I'm just
honey.
like,
Like I feel it.
Yeah, no. But they always say that I'm really like chill because I just start having conversations with them whilst they're like drilling my mouth. You know me, I'm this.
Yeah, we know. No, fair enough. Fair enough.
Always talking.
But yeah, that's my vibe of the week. What's
That's
your
a good one? Mine is actually going to be from last night, actually. So last night I kind of impulsively met two of my friends. One of them, he called me because he was near my house and he was just like, do you want to go for a walk? So I met him and then we got food and just chilled and walked around and it was just so nice. And then the other one, then I went to meet after that and we also just walked around and was walking like near the River Thames and just catching up and it was really, really nice. And I just felt like the activity of just doing something so impulsive and spontaneous like that, because it was not planned at all. Like, I thought yesterday I was just going to be inside all day, was really nice. And I think like taking walks as well is just so good for you to like actually just calm down and just, it's good for your mental health and everything.
I often feel like the activities or things that happen most impulsively always end up feeling like the best.
I know, literally, because it was just so random, like just having races. We were having a race at like...
You said racist.
Oh, no. No. Like we're having a race at like 11 p.m. at night.
Running?
Yeah, running race.
That's cute.
Yeah, like
that's
cute.
That's cute. I did something similar because I went to Portsmouth to visit a friend with another friend and we all just had a very chill time. The guy we went to see is quite chilled, so we fully embraced how he lives there and it was really good. So yeah,
that's so nice.
Okay, so in this episode, which is called To My Future Self, today we're going to be reflecting a bit on just 2024, I guess, and our highs, our lows, our achievements. Talking about the podcast, our experience with that, future hopes and desires, I guess. So I think firstly we can start off with a review of 2024.
Yeah,
since we are in the new year.
Yeah.
And I want to start off by asking you, what is one word that you'd use to describe 2024 for you?
Chaotic.
Chaotic.
Yeah.
Chaotic.
Yeah, chaotic.
Okay, well, my word, I think, is... I think it wasn't chaotic, but I think unexpected.
Yeah, I would use that word as well, actually. Unexpected is a good one. Do you want me to explain?
Yeah, I'd like you to explain
Okay.
why chaotic.
Also a side note, but shout out to Tanaka as well, because he actually gave his idea for the episode title today, To My Future Self, so shout out to you. But the reason I'd say chaotic is because it's just been a year of a lot of ups and downs for me, and that's why like it's just been chaotic, because it's not always been like negative chaos. There has been like good things that have come out of the year, but it's been like a roller coaster. It's been up and down, and the downs have been really down, may I add, but the ups have been really up. It's quite weird.
Yeah.
So just to like explain a bit more, obviously I graduated in 2024, which was such an incredible achievement, to make it through the end of my degree. That's probably like the biggest achievement yet, in my life. So that can't be downplayed. And then obviously starting the podcast as well, hitting certain milestones on YouTube. Like there was quite a few things that were incredible.
Fair enough.
I wouldn't say securing my job, because that was actually the year prior to that. But then the downs were just so low for me this year and quite difficult. Went through a lot of personal stuff towards the end of 2024, like autumn time. Things that I don't know, like it's even now it's difficult to see like if I'm gonna kind of come out of that, if that makes sense. Like if I'll actually find like full happiness again. I don't want to get emotional, guys, bro. Well, do you know what I mean? Like it's just a bit difficult sometimes when you're in situations that are so painful.
Yeah.
To see if you're gonna come out of that.
I think this is me speaking to you, but also to anyone who feels the same. When I have felt like that, I think all you can always give yourself is time for things, because, and it happens a lot in life just in general, where you can only compare things. So when you look back to how you might be feeling now, let's say you watch this back in 2 months' time and you realize, oh, this is how I actually felt, but look at me now. Yeah. So when you're in a situation, that's all the emotions you feel. It's hard to step out of that and try and look forward to what can be better. And you just have to trust that it will. Yeah. Like, just give yourself time. Exactly. Yourself time and grace as well.
Exactly, yeah.
That you will.
I agree.
So,
what about you?
I'd say unexpected, but I think more so turbulent. I think turbulent. Did you say that already?
No, I said chaos, but turbulent as well.
I think turbulent was more so my word of the year. And it was because just a lot happened in terms of... So firstly, I'd say in January, I started what I hope to have to never keep saying, SQE, the SQE. And because that was the start of my year, coming back from September 2023, the SQE took up a lot of my year in 2024. And I've never felt so, not held back, but paused. Yeah. I don't know if I can start work unless I pass these exams, or I can't do anything because I have exam after exam coming up and it's not temporary.
There's a lot of pressure.
Solely for like March. No, I have exams in January, exams in April, supposedly, which didn't happen because I got given the wrong results. And then that pushed things back further for me in terms of my life, which is why it was more turbulent. And
also, can I say as well, I feel like with your situation, the most difficult part is that it pushed you back and it was out of your control.
Yeah.
Something that was completely not your fault. It was out of your hands and it pushed you back. And I think those situations in life are always the most annoying because it's like you've worked hard, you've done everything you can, but yet still life throws like all these curveballs at you.
I agree. And I think when that happened, one thing that I really was able to reflect on or be happy about was, for me, something I've always wanted was a break, to be honest.
Yeah.
I would never willingly go out of my way to say, can I push my start date back 6 months? I would never have done that.
Right, yeah.
So say I got given the right results, I'm telling you I would be working right now. But because of the way everything panned out, I truly do believe everything happens for a reason. And this happened so that I can do the podcast, I can travel, I can just have a break that I've felt like I've truly needed for the past 22 years of my life.
Yeah.
Do
you feel refreshed now?
No. I do not feel refreshed. I felt even worse after finishing exams, and I don't really know what it was, but I think I'm getting towards a point where I'm on the up.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I also wanted to ask you, you mentioned you graduated.
Yeah.
It was such an honor to see you achieve that.
I'm glad you were there that day as well. It was really
nice, really nice, very wholesome.
It was.
In line with that, what would you say your biggest goal or achievements were this year?
Definitely to graduate, which obviously was accomplished. Trying to think
You
if
hit
I had
5K?
Yeah, I hit 5K on YouTube. That was also a goal. I actually used to have my YouTube subscriber goal was a little bit higher than that actually. I think it was to hit 7 or 8K. But I think I'm really happy with the 5K because of the fact of how much stuff actually happened this year.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll set New Year's resolutions and goals for yourself, but you won't actually
know what's going
to be thrown at you. Yeah. With the goals I'd set.
Started the podcast.
Yeah, starting the podcast as well, obviously. I feel like that was such a wild card as well, though, because even though I had like the ideas were there, I never actually, like, I don't know, I did think it would happen, but I didn't think it would actually happen.
Yeah.
And now that we're sat here, like, we have a studio, we have a set, we have a jingle, like, we have all these things in place.
Thanks you to my brother for that one.
Literally, yeah, thanks to your brother. Like, there's just so many things in place that I didn't expect. Like, I don't know about you, but with a podcast, did you expect it to be so good, like so professional and to actually come to life? You did.
Yeah, but it's because I know that, especially doing it together, that whatever we would do would be good because of the type of people we are. So I don't think if it was the case where we weren't happy with either the promo video, we already pushed back the start date.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
So I do think we wouldn't have done it until we were properly happy, like even finding the studio and doing that. That was the whole thing as well. So I'd say for me, that was a highlight.
Yeah.
I remember at the beginning of the year, one of my to-dos, like goals, was to start something. And I didn't have an idea at all for what it was, but I wanted to just start something. Obviously I was already doing YouTube. I was already studying. And I did think, how am I going to add something else to that? Like, it would be difficult for me to do that with everything else I'm doing. So the podcast to me has been an amazing just thing to do overall. I think it's a major highlight for my year because I'm very proud of it. Like, I'm very proud of what we've done. And I can only imagine it'll be like higher heights from here.
Yeah.
Another highlight.
Like, imagine a year from now where it will be. It's kind of crazy to think that.
26.
Yeah.
Oh, we just started.
Literally.
We just started the year. But I agree. Another highlight for me would probably be my SQE exams. So getting through those, that's probably the toughest. No, that is those are the toughest exams I've ever done in my entire life. And I've never been pushed to that extent. Not even just academically, but mentally as a person. And I knew I'd never give up, but truly I was drained And I say this with myself and for a lot of my friends who did the SQE too. I think you come into the SQE a type of person and you leave law school and the SQE a completely different type of person, because the impacts it has on you mentally, emotionally, physically, academically is too much. And I'm just very proud of myself for getting through that and doing that and passing. So go me. And it was truly long, but I did it. And completing my master's as well was
Incredible.
something that I felt just overall, the whole thing was very long. Like it's a year, whereas usually when we're in school, it's more so like 9 months.
Yeah.
And that year was daunting, but it was good. And that's another achievement of mine.
Such a big one as well.
Yeah, I don't feel it, but
Yeah.
I know it is.
Yeah.
And when I graduate for the second time,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, because you have your graduation coming up as well.
Yeah. So I also wanted to ask, based on all the things that we've spoken about with regard to what we've done, some of our highlights, what would you say the biggest thing you've learned in 2024 is?
I think how strong I am as a person, actually. I think I don't know. I knew that I was a strong woman before 2024 because there's so much things that I've overcame through my childhood and everything. But truly, like what I went through this year around the jaw surgery, that was like the most I've ever been pushed to in terms of like my physical limits and my mental health.
Yeah.
And like I think it's really changed. Like, you know how you said, I know this is completely different situations, but you know how you said like law school has changed who you are as a person?
Yeah.
I think like going through that surgery and coming out on the other end has really changed me as a person and has changed my perspective on life. That even the
better?
Yeah, for the better. I feel way more appreciative of everything. Like when I'm eating now, I feel appreciative that I can eat, or just even touching my face and it feels normal, it's not swollen, I feel more appreciative, or just like of the fresh air because I had to stay inside for the first couple of weeks. Like literally everything, I'm finding the beauty in things more.
That's really good, actually.
Yeah. And it just, like I said, it just made me realize that I'm a strong person, that I can overcome anything really that life throws at me. And yeah, and I think as well, I did obviously have my friends and family to support me through that, but also it was one of those things where I really had to get through it myself though.
Yeah.
Because as much as everyone is around you helping you and supporting you, it's such a mental battle, like waking up each day and getting a move on with things and not.
And no one else can make you do that.
Yeah, no one else can give you that oomph to continue your day apart from yourself. So yeah, I think that's literally the biggest thing I've learned is about strength.
That's really sweet. And I'm proud of you.
Oh,
I will say.
Thank you.
I hope you know that.
Yeah, thank you. How about you?
I think the biggest thing I've learned this year is trusting the process. And I usually will hear certain terms and quotes. I'll usually hear certain terms and quotes and think, ugh. But truly, this year I've learned the most important. I've learned the benefits of trusting the process and like having faith. That everything will work out that everything will come how it's supposed to be. And just having faith for me in God. That what will be, and just believing that and continuing on my life that way. And with how everything happened with my exams, I'm just really happy that I was able to do that, because I think had it been any other year, I probably wouldn't have made it through it. As crazy as that sounds, in terms of like pursuing everything, but trusting the process has been the biggest thing for me. So I feel like if anyone ever feels like things aren't going their way, and as we start this new year, lots of things will happen in this upcoming year, but it's about trusting that everything that's supposed to happen will happen the way it's supposed to. Even if it's not now, it will happen later, and just trusting that it will eventually happen.
I agree. I just want to second that and say I feel like when you're going through stuff, you can't see the other side.
Yeah.
Like when I had those days of my surgery and I woke up and I genuinely didn't want to be here anymore, you can't see the other side of things. You can't see a month later when you're better sat on the couch back in the podcast studio or something halfway away. But you can't see that. And that's why I think having faith is so important as well to me, because like you said, you have to really trust the process and know that when you're in a bleak situation, things will get better. A bad day doesn't mean a bad life. So keep going, keep pushing. And also I want to say as well that obviously God gives his toughest soldiers, what is it? God gives his toughest soldiers the hardest battles. But also, you know, to be a strong person, you have to have overcame a lot of stuff, or you have to go through things,
challenges.
yeah, to become a strong person.
Yeah.
So I think the perspective that I have is that not, oh, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but kind of, yeah, like those things that you go through make you who you are, they make you stronger, and it's a part of who you are, and there'll be better days.
And one final thing I'd like to add to that is I often feel that I try my best to control my life the way I want it to be. However, this or last year, I really had to learn that things will happen, and it might not be right now, but it will eventually happen in a way that it's meant to be. So it will happen the way God wants it to be for me. And just trusted in that. So that's been that from us. With that being said, do you think there's anything last year that you, I would say, regret or you would have done differently? And also, I'd like to ask, in line with that, do you believe of having regrets?
I actually don't.
Yeah.
No regrets. No, I'm not a person that goes through life and has regrets.
Yeah.
Obviously we all make mistakes, we're all human. Maybe you might have said something that you shouldn't have said, or you regret afterwards. But I think as long as you're apologetic about something, and you are self-aware, you have a lot of self-awareness, and you can reflect on yourself, on a situation, if you might have acted, wrong or something, then that's fine, because that's what being human is about. And you have to give yourself grace. And I think you said that earlier, and knowing that we're not perfect. Everybody is flawed. We're all flawed. So I literally have no regrets. Even, for example, one of the personal situations that I went through, if I wanted to, I could look at that and think, oh, I regret having put myself in that situation. You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. Okay. But no, I don't think like that. Like there's no good from having regrets about a situation, especially if it's happened. It's better to look at the positives that came out of that, or how that situation changed you as a person, instead of dwelling on the negative side of things.
I often think back to school days and think if I ever regret anything, and honestly, no.
Yeah.
But it's because I think that everything shapes you to being who you are today. So as much as it's good to have self-awareness of what you can do differently and how you can change, I actually wouldn't regret a single thing in 2024. As treacherous as the year was, I truly, truly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anything, I would have, my only regret, but not regret, it would have been starting things sooner. So like joining my hockey club sooner.
Yeah.
Because then I would have met the amazing people that I did earlier. But then again, like I said, everything has its time.
I say that quite a lot as well, actually. Like, I regret not starting YouTube earlier. I wish I started in lockdown when I actually wanted to start. But I was a bit scared to start, to be honest, because of people's impression of me and whatever else. But, like you said, things happen for a reason, and things happen in its own timing. We all have our own paths. So
fair enough.
There's no point regretting things, I'd say.
So no regrets from us.
No regrets. And I hope all the listeners don't have regrets as well.
So now we're going to speak to you about our goals for the new year, guys. So with 2025, I like the sound 2025, don't you?
Yeah, that's a nice number.
Yeah, 2025.
24 is just like, it's an odd number. 25, yeah, it does sound
with 2025 approaching, well, not even approaching, with 2025 here, what are your goals or some of your goals for the year? Do you have any that you want to tell the pod? And this can be, you can do one personal, one pod if you want, just to make life easier.
Okay. For so I would have started my job 2025. I start in February. So my goal for that is
Next month.
Yeah, next month. My goal for that is to just have settled in, really, because I'm not gonna set super high expectations and say, oh, I want to be a partner by 2026. Like, that's not realistic. I just want to have settled in and found like comfort and happiness in my office, which I think would be really easy to do because my office is a nice place and genuinely I really like everyone in my office as well, which is why I chose to stay at my firm.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I think that's important, like
100%.
culture and fitting into office is very important. It's not all just about your salary or the size of the brand name. Like, it does matter because at the end of the day, you're going to be in that office.
I'd rather be crying over the work than the people.
Yes, exactly. And then at least you can cry over the work with the people if necessary.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just want to have settled in and found comfort there. Actually, one goal I want to set for myself as well is to get involved in potentially the Black network at my company. I really want to like push that forward and make some sort of innovations there. And, maybe help like state educated children get into consulting or helping people from different unis get into the world of consulting as well. So I definitely want to get involved with that. In terms of the podcast, I don't want to set numerical goals. Do you?
No, actually, because even when we have our, what's it called? Like, we're gonna sort out what we want for the new year.
Yeah.
I don't think numerical goals were really in my mind.
Yeah, I don't think they're in my mind.
I'm also events.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. Like, my goal for the pod is to definitely have 1 or 2 live shows, like / events this year. And then personal goal.
Was your thingy not a personal?
No, I feel like that's career. That's not personal. That's a career. Okay, personal is just to find like happiness in myself and to actually continue my journey of self-love throughout 2025, and hopefully it is a process, but by the end of 2025 to be in a much better place than how I've started the year and to be in a place of self-love. And I think one thing that I've recognized is the fact that I'm aware of that and I'm on the journey of self-love and trying to love myself shows that I already do. Because otherwise you wouldn't try and you would have given up already.
For me, the third step of what you're saying is always like having that awareness of what you want to change, what you want to do differently.
Yeah.
And once you have that, you can work towards it.
Yeah, because I remember we were talking about this. Remember I asked you, do you think I doubt myself a lot?
Yeah.
And you said, yeah, but you think that I'm really working on it. Yeah. And you can understand why as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that I just want to keep working on as well.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah. How about you?
Personal goal, I had this on my head straight away. I want to pass my driving test. Oh, I have to sit my theory test for the 3rd time, everyone, because it's expired twice. And I think if I sit it for the 3rd time, I'm not letting it expire. Like, the goal is I will be driving next year. I will be telling you on an episode of the pod that I've passed my test and I have a car.
Oh, yeah. That's the same for me.
That's a personal goal that I just think has to be done. And I think now that I've overcome all the academic side, push that to the back. Pod goal, I really want us to. We've had this discussion on Evil Eye.
Yeah, go on.
But I really want us to potentially not even be sponsored, but be under a company. But not company, like, I mean Spotify, guys, or not picky, but I'm not picky, but
if you're listening, the email's in the description box. Hit us up.
Yeah, I think because of how much effort we've put into this, I do feel like it's a potential for us, and I think that's something I want.
I think it will definitely take off, and at the end of the day, evil eye can evil eye all it wants. But like I said, you can try. But like you said, what is meant to be
Will be.
And on that note, if you are enjoying the episodes, please rate it, because as you can tell, we have very high ambitions and goals for the podcast. And literally, it takes 1 second to leave a little rating or to subscribe or follow us.
And we do hope you're enjoying it.
Yeah, we actually
We enjoy that.
and leave feedback as well, because we are still improving. We've been taking in a lot of feedback from our friends and family that have been watching the episodes. So if any of you guys have any feedback, you can DM us, you can email us. We check everything. So, but yeah, those little takes 1 minute and it's free to subscribe and rate, and it really, really massively helps us out.
Thank you.
So thank you very much, guys.
Now, we've been speaking about personal growth, self-care, and self-improvement. So we're going to go over to Alicia, who's going to explain to us a bit more about these cards. For those who are listening, she's got a pack of cards in her hands. They have on the top of them, what does it say?
Mindful self-care prompts and ideas.
So, and it's from Clever Fox. So Clever Fox actually sent us both personally. This is not sponsored.
Yeah.
On here.
Yeah, it's not sponsored, but they gifted us. Yeah, which was really kind of them, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very nice, and I love my Hannah. But we're gonna go through.
This is so cute. So I've just opened the lid of the box. It says, "Take care of you. Everything else can wait."
That I'm telling you was my anthem towards the final quarter of 2024, because I realized we're going to speak about this in another episode. One of my biggest issues is setting boundaries with people. It can be friends, family, anyone. My biggest problem is setting boundaries. Yeah. And I struggled so much last year. And it wasn't until the last quarter where I started realizing I'm only hurting myself in how much I take on, constantly saying yes to people, not putting myself first. And I had for so long the thought that putting myself first was me being selfish, when it wasn't. Like, I can't be my full self or perform to my best if I'm constantly tired and putting other people.
When you've got so much things in the back of your mind.
And I can't give my friends or family my full self if I'm not myself in here.
I think that's one good thing about us as well, is that our communication is top. Like, if any of us are feeling a type of way regarding the podcast, the communication is there and things get sorted out extremely quickly. I think I really want to try and take that into other areas of my life, because I remember we did talk about filming an episode and setting boundaries, and I actually said that I'm not ready to film that yet, because that's something, again, that will probably be another goal of mine for 2025, something that I really want to work on. Mine is more so with family, actually, because I think with family it's really difficult, because you feel like you said, you don't want to be selfish. I do want to help out my family. I love them very much, but I can't help my family if I can't help myself firstly. Do you know what I mean? Like, we have to advance together, and if I feel like certain members of my family are holding me back, then I can't propel all of us forward as a family. So I really want to actually have some conversations with my family, different members of my family this year, and just make things a bit better. So
no, fair enough. And I think that's important to do, even with relationships.
Exactly, yeah. 100%. Okay, onto the self-care cards. So essentially, these are all prompts and ideas for things that you can do to care for yourself. So we might not be able to do it now, we probably won't, but I just want us to take a card each and to do this. Promise that we'll do this when we go home tonight.
I'll do it.
Yeah. So if you want to pick a card.
Oh. Okay.
I'll take one.
Oh.
Is it nice?
Yeah.
I really love how these cards
look.
look.
They're beautiful.
Okay, you go first.
So mine says social media sabbatical, and it's take a break from the digital world and reconnect with life beyond the screen. Commit to a period without social media and reconnect with people in real life. This can reduce stress, increase productivity, and improve real life relationships. The reason why I extremely relate to this is because I think a lot of the things I do, whether it's the podcast or social media, is always on my phone. It's always on my phone, or I'm always on my laptop, or I'm always editing something online. And like I said, when I went to see my friend, being in the presence of just putting that all away was what was needed. I didn't go on social media at all. I didn't look at anything. And that's why I came back home feeling so refreshed. Yeah. So I will do this again, or maybe for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
Because
I think, like you said as well, it's hard when you're a content creator to do that because sometimes I really have the urge to just lock off everything, lock off everything. But it's really difficult to when that's kind of not your job, but it kind of is your job. Do you know what I mean? But there definitely has been periods where I've done it. Like I'm not afraid to like take a break from YouTube and not upload for a couple of weeks if things are too busy.
I actually am quite bad on my phone, as in not using it.
Not using it, yeah. I use mine.
There are times where, other than you, because I have to respond to you,
Yeah.
like my other friends will be like, "Praise the you lie," because I just don't. But I guess it's a bit different. I'd rather be able to connect with my friends more than be online.
Yeah. Okay.
What does yours say?
So mine says the power of gratitude. Gratitude is the best attitude. Witness the transformative power of appreciation in your life. Keep a gratitude journal, which is very interesting because Clever Fox actually sent me a gratitude journal as well. And write down 3 things you're grateful for each day. Yeah, I like that idea. Practicing gratitude can increase positivity, reduce stress, and help us to relish good experiences while overcoming the bad. You know what? That's really nice because I think, yeah, I actually really like. I'm going to take a picture of it so I remember. I really like that, and actually kind of urge the listeners. Do you take a picture of it? Let's actually do it.
I've got, and it's not hard to remember.
Yeah, I think listeners as well, if you feel like you're on your journey of self-love as well, I think that's a really good one to do for self-caring, is to write down 3 things that you're grateful of. Because I think when you're going through such negative things, it's so easy to forget, you know, just how lucky we are, how privileged we are, which is why I was even saying on the Christmas episode, which would have been out last week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Is we had like quite a difficult conversation around dealing with loss around the Christmas period. And one thing that I said is that it's actually a privilege to be able to feel pain. And that's so true. Like it's very easy to forget how privileged we are. And we complain so much as humans. Like you might complain about your job, forgetting how much of a privilege it is to actually be able to have a job and to go to work. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
So I think that is good to like help like change your perspective on life and have a bit more positivity. So I would definitely be doing that actually. Definitely.
And for a little spin-off for this episode of To My Future Self, before this episode, I tasked Alicia with 2 things. One is what we'll get to after, and the first one is our bingo card predictions for this year of 2025. So I essentially, for those who are watching, gave Alicia this bingo card, and on the top it says number 1 to 5, and we both wrote down our predictions for things that we think are going to happen this year in 2025. And I thoroughly enjoyed putting this together.
Yeah, it looks really good, might I say.
Thank you.
I can see it on YouTube.
And we're going to talk you through quickly our predictions of 2025, and we can do one each, so you can go first.
Okay, I'm not going to over explain them.
And just to be clear, Alicia and I are not
mind
readers. We have no inside information to anything. So if any of this actually happens, it's actually nothing to do with us.
But it will make interesting clips, I guess. Okay, first, number 1, I said AI generated media will be mainstream. So I've seen on TikTok a lot of. Have you got that as well?
You do.
Okay,
I'll do mine after.
Okay, the reason I wrote that down is because on TikTok we've seen so much like AI generated music, and it's actually really scary. Like you'll be on TikTok watching a video or something happening, like I don't know, like a whale eating a human, and you not actually realize that that's AI generated, it's fake. And it's really scary because we've only just seen this starting to happen towards the end of 2024.
Yeah.
And I think by the end of 2025, that technology is going to be really advanced and will definitely be mainstream, and quite concerning for like artists and stuff.
I think I put on mine that there will be an anti-AI trend.
Oh,
so I feel like there will be a shift towards more people wanting more authentic things because of how much AI is out there. So I was recently watching this video and I saw an ad in the back of, basically, guys, imagine for those watching, there's this wall behind us where our sign is. Imagine Laura Mercier ad there. as in a frame.
I don't get it.
You know those billboards you see outside that
Yeah,
show adverts? Imagine an AI generated it just there,
Okay.
but it's through AI, through editing. It's the thing doesn't exist. So that concrete wall, Alicia, completely empty. In a YouTube video, the girl edited a billboard there.
Oh.
She just continued on as normally speaking.
Right.
Didn't have to talk about it, say it. It was
so it's
just
just there
input in the background. Oh, wow. And then it eventually left after how many seconds that needed to be.
Oh wow.
And that to me was insane. I was like, am I seeing things?
That's quite cool.
No, I think that's a bit like that. The whole point for me with YouTube was like authenticity.
Yeah.
And for me, if you get sponsored and it's an ad and you talk about it, that to me is more. Even though you might be getting paid for it, cool.
Yeah.
But to actually input
Yeah.
an AI, not real, yeah, that to me crossed the line. But anyways, I think there'll be an anti-AI trend.
Maybe. I don't think so though. I think
I
AI
think
will
so.
really dominate.
Well, it will dominate, but I do think there will be like an
Because look at ChatGPT as well. That's really, when did that come around? 2024 as well. Yeah.
no way before.
Was it?
Yeah, it was there when we were in LSE, when I was in LSE 2023.
Oh, so it's maybe 23. And that has really like become so popular. Like people use it for everything, like to write an email, to give them ideas, to do this, to do that. And that's really like dampening creativity as well.
Exactly, which is why
Which is scary.
Anti-AI trend.
But then it's so helpful for people that it might continue. Because like
I don't think it will stop, of course. Like it can only get, but I do think there will be a period of time where people will be like, no, this is wrong.
Like activism.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that happening as well.
What's your next one?
Okay, my next one, this is dark, and I don't want this to happen, but I'm just saying I think it will happen, okay? And I wrote down a serial killer incident related to Tinder or Hinge, or just dating apps in general.
Okay.
And the reason I think this will happen is because dating apps are scary. You don't actually know who you're talking to. And I think as humans, like in this generation, we put so much trust into the people that we're talking to online, and you don't actually know who you're talking to. And the reason I wrote this actually is because I was on Instagram yesterday and I saw an advert for a new dating app. I forgot the name of it. Otherwise, I would call them out right now. I would draw them out. But it's a new dating app, and the concept is no chatting, no conversation.
Just me.
You see the pictures. If you both like each other, you tick some calendar options to see when you're both free, and then you immediately meet up without even talking to them. How scary is that? Very, very scary. And I think something really bad is going to happen around that trust that we have online. And I think that will, again, like what you're saying with the anti-AI trend, I think it will lead people to be a bit more, oof, we need to take a step back.
No, fair enough.
Because I think certain bad incidents that happen really shift like global perspectives. For example, with the George Floyd incident, that had so many ripple effects afterwards and really made people step back and reevaluate like racial biases in so many different spaces.
Even companies change policies.
Exactly. Loads of companies started doing more schemes.
D&I.
Exactly, yeah. Like that became more of a topic of conversation. And I think something like that happening will make people kind of take a step back.
I think vaping will become illegal, potentially in the UK.
Yeah, because they're being banned.
Yeah,
So
I think it will become illegal. I won't say my personal preference, but actually I will. I don't. I think it should, but yeah. If anything, it will be doing me a favor. All this wind, strawberry flavored raspberry blown in my face. You'd be doing me a favor, love. So thank you.
That's funny. My next one is that I think TikTok is gonna go bust. And I've put like Vine and Musical.ly in brackets.
I will add on to that. My one was, I think a famous social media platform will cease to exist.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be TikTok. And sometimes I think, is it going to be YouTube? Because people are moving to more short form content. But I think YouTube is one of those platforms that will always be there. And I hope it will, because it is my favourite platform. but I just think it will withstand
I thought it would either be TikTok or Snapchat. I'm not gonna lie.
Snapchat. Yeah, I think I don't use Snapchat anymore,
Same.
so I
The
feel
thing
like it's
doesn't
a
exist on my
yeah, it
phone.
doesn't
But
exist to me.
yeah. Your turn again.
Second one, global inflation pressures. Global inflation pressures will still persist. Hopefully not. Again, this is quite negative, but I just feel like it might. And given all the like geopolitical crises that are happening, and I also put plus housing market crash. That's a bit of a selfish one. I think it's because I want to get onto the property ladder, and then if the market crashes, maybe I'll be able to get in a bit easier.
Okay.
Whereas for those already on the property ladder, that would be awful. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe that will happen. But I did say that last year as well. I thought
What is
it
your
would happen
final
this
two?
year. No. I've still got one more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think my next one is I feel like there will be a shift to narrowed clothing in fashion. So obviously we're quite baggy girls in terms of what we wear. I feel like 2025 is going to bring everyone not too far back to like skinny jeans, but I do think there will be a narrowing of clothes where people want more fitted items. As unfortunate as that sounds, but I do feel like that will be the case.
I don't think so. I think maybe 2026. But I mean, that's just because I want to hold on to it for a year longer.
I think so.
Let's see. But fashion is very circular, so you are right. Some things will come back for sure. Maybe like polka dots or something.
What's your one?
My last one is progress in space travel. So I feel like we'll see a lot more like tourism and commercial flights to the moon. Because I think a lot of companies will start investing into space travel. And another thing that I'm hoping is that this sounds a bit weird, but more of the ocean to be explored. Yeah, are you scared of like what's down there?
Oh, honey, I'm scared of water, full stop. That sea is not for
Have
me.
you seen that North Sea trend on TikTok? It goes, oh, the go. What's it about? So they put this really scary sound like that, how I was singing it, over videos of like the North Sea just being like violently crashing. Yeah. The people know, the people know.
My final bingo card for 2025. Oh, I put the wrong year.
Oh, right.
Anyhow, my
That
final
didn't-
bingo item for 2025 is that Dami and India from Love Island will get engaged.
Oh, nice. I thought he was going to say break up.
No, not break up. I hope not. I think they'll get engaged. And part of me feels like they'd elope.
Can I add Tasha and Andrew as well? I also think they'll get engaged. Just to piggyback off of yours.
Okay, fair enough. And whoever does have more by the end of the year will get a special prize.
Okay.
I'll treat myself.
I like it. So
Oh,
I've got to
wait.
keep these safe.
The final thing we wanted to no, the two final things. Alicia and I have written letters to our younger selves.
No, to our future self.
No, to our younger selves.
It's a letter to our younger self.
Well, eventually, when we're reading it out, it will be to our younger self.
Oh, okay, yeah,
So,
yeah.
same. We're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Are you gonna read it? Are you gonna be happy to read it out in a year's time?
Yeah.
So we're gonna read these letters out to our younger selves in a year's time. So, guys, make sure you're listening to the episode.
Yeah.
We do that in a year's time, and hopefully things are
It's a nice activity.
a lot nicer. Like I'm happy. Like don't get us wrong, we're happy.
Believe it or not. I want to say as well, I feel like that was such a nice activity that Praise gave me to do, and I'd recommend as well for all the listeners to do that going into your new year, is to write a letter to your future self for you to read in a year's
I do it
time.
every year actually, and I just can't remember where the other one is. But I will have a look and find it. But that has essentially been the first episode of 2025 for To My Future Self. Of course,
Can you just say before we end one message to your future self?
honey, that's literally what I was about to say.
Oh, really? Oh, I think I'm the same.
To my future self, I'd like to tell Praise that you're going to have the best year of your life. You're going to exceed all expectations that you have set for yourself and that other people have for you. And you are going to find ultimate happiness. And that you should be so proud of yourself.
Oh, that's really nice. That's really nice.
I'd like to hear what Alicia has to say to her future self.
That's a tough one to follow. I want to say to my future self that this is going to be a really exciting year for you for sure. You're starting your new job. You really are stepping into adulthood. And again, you should be so proud of yourself for landing that job. Stop downplaying everything and thinking that you didn't deserve to get the job or you might have fluked your way into it, which is what we were talking about in our imposter syndrome episode. Because you deserve it and you deserve to be in the rooms that you're in. And I'm really excited for you as well, future Alicia, because that is so exciting starting that job and like being able, like I'm gonna have so many new experiences, like new projects, being able to travel for the first time with a company, hopefully getting to travel the world a bit more as well. So yeah, it's exciting, new beginnings, literally a new start, and yeah, be happy, be positive.
It was. So thank you guys so much for listening to the first and another episode of To My Younger Self. It's been your girl Praise.
We're both wearing Ogbu.
Yeah, I know.
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
That's so cute. It wasn't intentional, was all, guys. And it's been Alicia.
And we will see you next week with another episode of To My Younger Self.
And
And a
Happy New Year!
Goodbye!
bye, guys.